Hello, chat. Welcome to the show. How you all doing? I hope you're having a great day. If not, I'm going to do my best in order to make it even greater. Because I got a lot of entertaining to do. Do you guys follow VTubers? Apparently, there is a controversy going on. I will do a video on my lack of entertainment channel because it's very fascinating. The company is accusing the VTuber in question. How should I put it so I don't upset the terms of service on YouTube? They're accusing her of being a whore, pretty much. Like, they're accusing her of meeting with people from her chat in exchange for financial remuneration. Like what do you call that? I don't think I upset the terms of service, especially when I'm not giving names. I'm not saying which company. I'm just saying what's happening. You know, I wake up this morning and I see this VTube company saying that we decided to terminate working with our talent because she went out with some of the members from the chat, maintain coitus with them in exchange for for money, right? That's what they're accusing her of. They're accusing her of being a woman of low moral fiber. Now, the problem that stems from this is that she's under NDA. So I'm thinking, like, what if they're talking shit? Because there is that possibility that, yes, for coffee. Perfect, yes, coffee. They actually went a little bit more than that. They even said that it was for pleasures of the flesh, chat. Pleasures of the flesh. So, how can she defend herself from these accusations? Because she's under NDA. Yeah, like a VTuber of the night. The idol industry is cancer. I gotta say, it is absolute cancer. And the reason that I think they were upset is not due to the fact that this lady was going out with people from her chat and actually putting out, you know, like, she was probably destroying the reputation of e-girls. Like, the reputation of e-girls is that they're just going to take your money and you don't have a single chance in hell. But apparently with this VTuber, no, like, she actually delivered. Like she gets to show that, look, if you're in my chat and you know how to impress me, you're knowing how to be a manly man, and you can win me over. You can definitely get a date with me. Maybe this was the problem, right? Because a lot of people are upset about what she did. Let me see if I can find the actual accusations, because there have been accusations like levied against her. This is how you say it, right? Like, accusations levied against her by her corporation. There's this guy. Oh my god! Like, there's this guy that works at Ubisoft. You know, he never talks to me about, like, what's happening in the video gaming industry. He never, you know, tells me, well, V, I'm curious about your game. Oh, you didn't know. He just shows me VTuber shit. Okay, I found it. So, important notice regarding the termination of our idol. Thank you for your continued support of our idol and our talents. We would like to inform you that on November 28th, we have terminated contract with our star, Riroron. Never heard of her. Unironically, I hear more about VTubers when they get terminated rather than when they do actual streams, which leads me to believe that some VTube companies may do this on purpose in the future if they're not doing it already. Like, you just hire a VTuber so you can fire her later on, and then people talk about her and you realize that Idol Corp is actually a thing. I didn't even know Idol Corp was a thing, but, like, there you go, right? So what did they do? Well, apparently, misuse of controlled substances during live stream performances. Oh, Dios mío. Oh, Dios mío. Controlled substances during live stream performances. So she was using drugs on stream? How would you even know, though? But okay, so this is accusation number one. She was using the dope. She was doping on stream. Soliciting fans during live stream members' content for private offline messages. Yeah, this is what they don't like. Like, most of these corporations don't like that because they make money through super chats, right? Like, when you give to Pipa, you give to the fishman. So if Pippa was to take super chats outside of the watchful gaze of the Fishman wouldn't like it. So it's basically like that's the accusation. But this is what that I find it very interesting. Meeting with a fan in person and accepting gifts from a said fan in the total value of thousands of dollars. She met with the rich sheikh from Saudi Arabia. And listen to this. Conducting a secretive relationship with a member of the Idol management team who has also been terminated upon confirmation of these details. Are they trying to say in a very polite PR term that she was fucking her manager? And is it against the rules? Because this is, you know, like, I get all of the above, right? Like, doing dope on stream. Okay, not cool. Not cool. I get it. Soliciting fans during live streams for private messages. I get it. You know, like, you're using your platform. Because, like, when you're part of a company, like, you're on a job, okay? Like, you start being your person and you become an employee. If that makes any sense. Like, when you're a doctor at a hospital, you can't use your position to lecture people in their sickbeds about Christianity. Like, you notice that person is dying and they have nowhere to go. Like, they're trapped. And you're like, let me talk to you about Jehovah's Witness. Let me, you know, that you can't do that. Because you're not paid to do that. You're basically not paid to have your opinion. You're paid to perform the function of a doctor. It's the same with, like, being an idol. You're not paid to be yourself. You want to be yourself, be independent. But if they are going to pump, like, $10,000, that's usually how much it costs. On the stream assets, on the model, on everything like that, on the PR, the publicity, blah, blah, blah. If they're going to put all that cash in you, then you gotta do the things that they require, which is not to meet with customers in your private time. If you disagree, don't work for the company. However, what's interesting is that I understand all of this, right? Like meeting with a fan in private and getting like thousands of dollars in gifts. Okay, not good, not good. But like conducting a secretive relationship with a member of the Idol management team, like so what? Why is that a problem? I can see the red woman coming out in defense of what happened to the dev of the coffin of Andy and Lele. Who is the red woman? I do not know who the red woman is. Is it from the game? I haven't played the game yet. Look, I'm sorry. Look at my hair. I don't even have time for myself anymore. This video game that I'm making is ruining my life. I hope that I manage to finish it. And then look at in satisfaction of the great work that I accomplished. But up until that point... doing with the manager is a great thing in the entertainment industry. It is heavily frowned upon if found out. See, the more I learn. I don't know how these things work. I never had a manager. I never managed someone either, so... apparently it's bad. Okay. This is why it's actually difficult to find people that can work at VTube companies. Because most managers think with their dicks. I mean, no, seriously, imagine that... you're involved with HoloLive, and you're talking with Gargura, you're talking with, well, what's her name? The Reaper lady, right? You're talking with Amelia Watson, you're talking with all these people that are very famous and coveted women. And, you know, if you manage to actually start to flirt with one and she flirts back, well, it becomes very problematic, isn't it? But yeah, so, I'm not mad either. The corporation had the right to it. Well, here's the problem, Tom Roche. You say that the corporation had the right to do it. How do you know that everything the corporation said is actually true? Because she can't debunk it. She's under NDA. So the corporation can be full of shit. The corporation can literally say anything they want at this point. And she can't defend herself. Yeah, Calliope Bori. The thing is, like, you're not surrounded by jailbait. Because most of these women have to be 18 in order to get a job, right? Unless they're in Taiwan or, like, there's other countries where you can get a job at 16. And if that happens, the Western talent are very uncomfortable. See, I know drama that's happening behind closed doors that you guys do not know. In VTube companies, it works like this, right? So if the VTube company is from Taiwan, like it happened with Heaven X. So they're a Taiwanese company, but they want to operate on the American market. So they hire American talent. And in America, you have to be over 18 in order to be able to sign the contract with them, right? To sign the NDAs, to sign all that stuff. So they hire 18 talent. But then they want to hire someone from Taiwan. And in Taiwan, they can hire someone that's 16. I think actually they can even go lower than that. It depends on the legislation. I haven't looked. I haven't checked. There may be like a couple of countries where if it's like specific businesses like online streaming and stuff, you can even hire them younger. But it's the moral question, right? Because when you're a VTuber, you subject yourself to the chat and you subject yourself to all of the obscenities and the art that follows. And due to that, a lot of American talent, and rightfully so, feel uncomfortable working alongside a colleague of theirs that's underage. Even if it's legal in Taiwan, due to the cultural differences, the talent from America is not okay. So the joke that you're working with jailbait can actually be true. Like, you can be an American manager, and you can actually manage a person that's from another country, like South Korea or Taiwan or other places, yeah, they're underage. And you have to promote them, and you have to look at art that's on the internet drawn of their VTube avatar, which is nude. And in many cases, the fans don't know either. Because that's the thing, like when you look at a VTuber, you assume that they're over 18. Like when I look at Gargura, I assume that the actress playing her is over 18, but I don't know. Like, she can be 15. There's no way of knowing, because that's the whole thing, is the anonymity. And usually you assume that they're over 18 because they had to sign a contract. I mean, it's a job, right? Like, they're making millions of dollars. I've seen a lot of kids in Hollywood movies, so apparently you can go very low. The thing with Hollywood, though, is different. You don't get to actually interact with your fans the same way as a VTuber does. Like, you don't actually get to see the chat. And more importantly, you do not get lewds, right? Like, because VTubers are anime girls, there's a lot of lewds of them. And usually, of course, like, the companies encourage that because it's free publicity. But a child that works at Hollywood, like, he just reads the script, plays his part. No one is making lewds of, I don't know, Macaulay Culkin from Home Alone, right? At least I hope not. On the internet, it's different. Holo hags. Oh my god. Oh, that is. No, they're not holo hags. Like if you don't know someone on 4chan, on the subforum VT, they actually made a calendar with the periods of the girls. So in various streams, the girls actually did say, it's like, oh, I'm having my period, or my belly hurts, or some shit like that. So you had like schizos from the fans that marked when that happened, and then they assumed that, I guess, like, they're women that are having their periods on the regular. So they actually like created a calendar, and you can now figure out when Gargura is going to have her next period. People are saying that's not creepy. Like, I'm sorry, are you from the VTube community, or are you a tourist? Like, what are we talking about? Like, when I tell you certain stuff, like, I expect that at least you know what 4chan is. I expect that at least you understand what a parasocial schizo relationship means. And I expect that you at least have some knowledge of what a Gargura is like, okay? So, like, what I'm saying here is like, not even the worst that's happening on the internet. My job is to document and observe. I'm not casting moral judgment. I'm not involved in these things. I'm not encouraging anyone to do these. It's just like, I go on the forums, I see it, and then I come on my channel and I tell you what I have saw. Okay? Like, I'm being my best to be as impartial as possible. I'm like the news anchor from CNN. And it's like, reports have it that on 4chan, people have. Okay? Like, this is what we're talking about. It's a little disturbing how deep into the lore we are. No, like, this is not disturbing. Like, trust me. I can't actually do the disturbing part because that would be a violation of YouTube's TOS. This is just, like, surface level. We haven't even got... I can't even say, like, we took a deep dive. We haven't taken even a swim yet. Like, this is just basic bitch... para-schizo relationship stuff that's happening. Alright? Like, please don't push me to go even deeper. And ironically, if I were to get Kirsche here, I think, like, Kirsche actually goes on the boards. So if I was to get Kirsche and I had the stream with her where we talk about, like, the things that we see on 4chan, Jesus fucking Christ. This is fucking great. The world is so degenerate. Oh, shut the fuck up. But, my God, you know, I'm starting to question. Was my childhood that different? Like when I was a kid, the stuff that I was into and the stuff that I did, was it really that different compared to what people are doing today? I mean, I remember when I was, maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't go there. You know what? I had the perfectly fine childhood, chat. I was an absolute angel. I did absolutely nothing wrong. Pillar of the community, I was. The most decent and moral citizen. I was upheld whenever I saw anything that was out of the ordinary, right? I was the first to disavow in every single situation. Never did anything naughty. I could message her if you want, V. I can message her. Why are people thinking I can't? Everyone can message her. Jesus. Do you guys remember like the VTuber that stapled her vagina? Yes. And then she put pictures of it. Like she took the stapler. The one that you use in order to hold the multiple files together. She did that on her vagina and then she posted it. My point is that sometimes the community is innocent, chat. Like, sometimes the community is not to blame. Sometimes the parasocial schizo relationship comes from the VTuber themselves. There was another VTuber that acted like she was married with her chat. Yeah. She was encouraging people to make fan art of buckets with her pee. And then rumors started going that she was actually underage and became muy problemática. She wasn't a big VTuber, but it was big on 4chan. Just so you can understand, like, the world and the community that we're talking about, right? Like people were shocked about what I said earlier. Look, if you want to watch a train wreck, you go on 4chan VT, and all of a sudden, you get to see certain things, you get to expose to certain things, where your line of what's acceptable starts to blur a little bit, because it's kind of like, you know, you now understand what's acceptable based on, like, what's happening, right? Like, you're exposed daily to that shit, to the point where it doesn't shock you. But when you talk with a normie, and you tell him something that you believe is not as shocking, like, for example, the Hollow Girl period calendar, that's like, I mean, it's not even illegal, it's not even questionable. They made it public on their own streams. Okay, someone made the calendar with it. Okay, fine. But then you know other things, you know? It's the other things that actually do shock you. So when you're talking with a person and you're like telling something that, look, I just want you to know, like, what's going on in this industry. And they're like, oh my God, oh, blah, blah. And you're thinking, dude, like, I know 10 other things that are so much fucking worse. Like, that they're like just so much fucking worse. And if you're reacting like that to the superficial level, I don't think I should carry on the conversation. I wasn't a true furry. I didn't have the costume. That is true, I didn't have the costume, but, like, let's be honest, most furries didn't. The world is sick. I want to live now. See, this is the thing. Like, I don't understand. You know, okay, fine. When I was a kid, alright? Like, this is what I did when I was a kid. I went to graveyards, chat. I went to fucking graveyards because I was goth. And I was into heavy metal. And it was all about being edgy. Because, like, the biggest concern from parents was like, oh my God, are my children going to become Satanists? Are they going to become and worship the devil? So we went to the graveyard and we listened to goth music. And at one point, one of my friends managed to actually find a bone from a grave. And he took it home and he scared people with it. You know? And I'm thinking, like, oh my God, can you imagine? Like, can you even imagine? Like, if it was in the world of social media, it would have been all over the fucking news, right? It would have been like, oh my fucking god, like what he did. And to be honest, he did something bad. Like, I'm not encouraging that. If my kid did something like that, I would be very upset. But still, the fact that I know that these things happen, and like that's what, from my circle of friends, okay? But there were other circle of friends that had other stories. And I'm thinking, like, when people get shocked, do they not have, like, a single similar story that happened in their life? I'm not talking about, like, human remains. No, but I'm talking about, like, stuff that, you know, would shock people. Like, you never do something that if you were to tell it in public, it would shock someone. Did you never see someone else that did something in public that would shock someone? Right? Like, my point is, everyone acts so shocked and bewildered by what other people do, but, like, have you never done something edgy in your fucking life when you were a kid? Like, before you managed to become an adult, did you not do something that you regret? Like, something really stupid, something dumb. Not necessarily criminal, but like something that if your kid would do it, you would be outraged. No, we didn't wear all black. Yeah. I actually didn't want to wear all black, but my parents didn't buy me all black shit. Like my mom was in charge of the finances, and my mom was a little bit controlling. So like when we went shopping, like she had to be there to make sure that the clothes that I buy are appropriate. No, I don't have pictures from that age. No. But like, this is the thing that really bothers me in the age of trust and safety and the sanitization of the internet. It's simply the fact that everyone is pretending that they never did anything bad, that they never did anything wrong. It's just like, oh my god, how can you do that? Oh, what are kids up these days? Oh no, they actually, they mark the periods of the Hololive girls? Oh, that is beyond the pale. I could not even imagine. How can someone do that? A teenager does that? No. It's kind of like that, you know? I'm your favorite cat girl? Why, thank you, Libby. We didn't have phones back then. Yeah, I think, like, here's my take on it. Imagine if grandma had a phone when she was a teenager. Imagine the stuff that she would have, right? And in a way, it's sad because, we believe that people now are doing stuff that's over the pale, but you have no idea what people did in the past. You have no idea how people behave in the past. And chances are, like, they behave far worse. It's just they didn't have social media, so they couldn't record themselves doing this shit. I was almost in a bad situation when I was younger that a girl wanted to make me a father at 13 years old. See, this is the thing that I keep saying. And people don't understand when I say that the concept of South Park. When the guy is young and the woman is a pedophile and everyone goes like, nice. Nice. Right? Like, you see this school teacher. And she's like fucking smoking hot. Like, chat, no, unironically, if you go on Google and you look for like teachers that are female and pedophiles, like some of them are genuinely smoking hot, right? So this is why you have the South Park meme with nice. But I'm thinking, okay, if your kid is 13 and she gets pregnant, is it nice? Because I don't think it's nice. I think it's not nice at all. And the thing is, like, you get, like, people that are leftists, and they're encouraging this shit, and they're saying, well, actually, laws against grooming are to protect little girls from men. If an older woman has sex with a young child, and it shouldn't be a concern. No, it should be a concern. It should be a concern. It's not nice. And you know, I think that the reason for it is that most men, they do have the fetish. Like most men would like, in their mind, to go back in a time when they were in high school and Miss Keen, which was a very sexy lady, and she had the plump ass and big booba, you know, and you in your mind, you imagine that. Like, I get it. However, it should be illegal. Like, just because it's nice, it should be illegal. So shut the fuck up, and if you do that, go to prison. How about that? Yeah, the older woman with an Xbox. No, but put yourself into the parent's shoes, right? Because you're not young anymore. So you're a parent, and your kid is 13. And he comes home, and it's like, oh, I got Miskin pregnant. Nani? Oh, why almost shindeiru? You know, it's not nice. Miskin, yes. Miss Babcock? Miss Babcock, huh? That hair? Yeah, I need to actually go and get a haircut. It's just that I never get around to do it. The main problem that I have is that I reverted my sleeping schedule, and this is to do to the fucking D&D games, chat. Is the fucking D&D games? I'm not going to blame Archcast, because Archcast is something that I consented to without pressuring, but they made my sleeping schedule so that I'm awake during the night and I sleep during the day. And by the time I wake up, usually most hairstylists are closed. So I need to make an effort and wake up fucking earlier. This is the life of a streamer, okay? Like, I'm complaining right now about how hard my life is. And there's probably some of you guys that are actual working class dudes that are waking at 6 a.m. in order to build a fence or some shit. And you're looking at me, and I know you feel a lot of empathy and compassion for the struggle that I'm going with. You definitely do connect with my pain. And there's like a trucker out there in the chat right now who's like, what? V has difficulty getting up? My god, that is so horrible. I don't know how he does it. Yeah. Bro. Yeah. The worst part is that Miskin will come back in 5 years looking for that proper child support. Yeah, no, literally, that's another problem, right? Because the thing is, if it's... Well, first of all, like, there are so many victims involved in this shit, right? So let's say you have a 13-year-old kid that actually does have his teacher taking advantage of him, right? So, like, a 13-year-old kid, Miskin invites him to his house, and does the kuchi-kuchi with him. Okay, so like, the leftists do not see a problem with this on Twitter. They're literally, it's like, well, it's not part of the male gaze, so we don't care. But like, let's look at the actual issue. First of all, the 13-year-old, right? Like starting your sex life at that point, like, he is robbed of his first kiss. He is robbed of his first experience. Like, he basically is going to have difficulty, from a psychological point of view, getting a proper relationship with someone. Like he's already at a disadvantage. The second thing, the child, right? Like, he's not going to be a father. If the woman gets pregnant, how the fuck can you be a father at the age of 13? Like, you're not even an adult yourself. Like, how can you take care of the kid? So you now brought to the world a child, which I can't say is fatherless, but it's pretty much very close to that, right? And if you look at statistics, you will see that, yeah, like, children can be raised in a single-parent household, but this one is raised by a mother that thinks it's socially acceptable to have sex with 13-year-old kids. Like what type of education is she going to be able to provide? What kind of morality is she going to be able to impart to her son, right? So that is like another victim, is the child itself. The mother has to go to prison now because she broke the law. And on top of that, the parents of the father have to pay child support. Like look how many things have happened from this interaction. Isn't it better to just criminalize it and make sure that it doesn't happen? Red Woman is the developer. Also, it's sad that 18-year-old kids go to jail for child support. Yeah, I generally, like, do not understand this American mentality. Like, here's the problem. Okay, so if you're in a marriage and you don't have a job, then if you don't pay, it's understandable, right? But, like, usually the woman can file for a no-fault divorce. Like, you're the father, you don't have a job. And maybe you don't have a job because of actual reasons, like health issues, or maybe you genuinely try to get a job, but no one wants to hire you in this economy. Like, that's also a possibility, right? So you don't have a job. You end up eventually getting a no-fault divorce. And now if you don't get a job and pay child support, you go to prison. And the worst thing with child support is that the money that you pay doesn't need to be put on the receipts. So what I mean by this, like, normally the mother should put everything that comes from child support to show that it went to the child in some way. Like, she should have receipts for literally every fucking thing she buys for the kid. She should have receipts for the milk, the baby formula, the diapers, the education, the school, the teaching, right? Like, everything that is child support should 100% go for the child. But in the current system, if the mother gets a no-fault divorce, and then she wants to go out with Chad to a nightclub, and she buys herself drinks from the child support, right? Like, do you not see the problem? And even then, even with receipts, by the way, you can still have, because money is interchangeable. So technically, like, she can use the actual money that she gets from the father to get receipts for the child, and then she uses her own money to go out with Chad. And normally she wouldn't have money to go out with Chad if she actually had to take care of the kid. But, like, that's neither here nor there. I would say that this system would actually be better. But if you actually talk about it, oh my god, misogynistic, oh, MRA, blah, blah, blah. Receipt sounds like oppression. I know. Here's one of the things that I've been asked, and a lot of people don't understand. Why is it that anime is wholesome and Western media is so outrageous? Like, when you look at something in Western media, it is ugly, it is divisive. Even sports, it's about taking a knee, and taking a knee is the right of the person to have free speech. But if you go with your face painted and the colors of the team, then it's because you're a racist and free speech doesn't apply anymore. Why is it? It's because it's because America is trying to divide society. Like, American entertainment, the people who make the American entertainment, they are openly saying that they're part of an ideology that believes that America is systemically racist, sexist, oppressive, and that they want to divide the United States, right? They want to start a revolution. So because of that, they are pushing for divisive issues. Like, when you say that, if you say Black Lives Matter, it's fine, but if you say White Lives Matter, it's racist and horrible and everything, right? When you do that, it's divisive. Like, you're doing it to antagonize a group of people. You're doing it specifically to antagonize people. When you say hashtag all men are rapists, like that was trending on Twitter, like, you're doing it to antagonize people. You're doing it to be divisive. You're not doing it in order to try to find solutions. You're not doing it in order to try to, right? So why is anime wholesome then? Well, anime is wholesome because Japan is trying to unite society. The message that they're sending is to go out there, get married, impregnate, have kids, make absolutely sure that you help your neighbor, that you help other people, right? Like, the message is one of unity and wholesomeness. And that's why it's wholesome. In America, it's one of division. And it's why it's so spiteful. Even the word to impregnate is being viewed as horrible in the United States, isn't it? It's like a vile word. It's like, how can you say that? Blah, blah, blah. Who does that? What type of person does that? Who thinks like that? By the way, I've been told that the state takes a cut from alimony and child support. That's very interesting. Japan is getting older without kids. Well, okay, let's look at it from a mathematical perspective, okay? Let me use my beautiful and very advanced Photoshop here, right? So here we go. This is time, right? No, sorry. This is the number of people, and this is the amount of time, right? So you start off by having two people, and those two people, they have, let's say, 4 kids, and those 4 kids, each one of them have 16, right? So it's like an exponential growth. Like, this is how society grows, right? Isn't it, like, expected that at some point it needs to plateau, and maybe it will go down, and then it goes back up again, right? Like shouldn't the population be like this? Or are you saying that human population should just, right? Like, is it the point where you need to have an aging population? Where like, you're reaching a point where you peaked, and then people have less kids, and the population ages, right? But at one point, the people have kids again, and the population goes up. Isn't this like what we should consider as, I don't know, this word is so horrible, I don't think I can even utter it. Like, this is the most vile word I can think of, but like, isn't it normal? If this is happening, shouldn't this be like the I genuinely do not understand why people are freaking out. Oh my god, well, Japan is aging. Oh, Dios mío, it's the end of the world, and it never happened before. And not to even mention, it's even when you look at animals, and when you look at well, animals closer to humans, right? But I think even plants have, like this is true in most of nature. When resources are plenty, and this is actually weird, but when resources are plenty, people have less kids. When resources are scarce, people have more kids. Like, this is why in medieval time, people used to have like 7 or 9 kids. The reason for it is that evolution is basically trying to make people to... It's not even people, like, again, it's with animals as well. The idea is that if things are bad, at least some kids should survive. But if things are good, then there is no need for that. Because if you were to have like a lot of kids when things are good, and everyone has it, then the exponential multiplication would make things go bad. Some of them kids wouldn't even live past 5. Yeah, like usually in medieval time especially, it was a certain age. Like if you manage to hit a certain point, you are fine, right? So basically, things were very bad in infancy. So like when you were born, that's when things could have been bad, infancy, and after that, like you are fine until you are taken to war. Like, when you went to war, things started off looking a little bit grim. But if you manage to survive war, and you manage to survive infancy, then chances are you could actually reach the same age that most people reach today. YouTube never notifies Terry Diamantis when I go live. Yes, I know. I know. It's a conspiracy. YouTube hates me. The algorithm hates me. I talk about Ireland. They don't like you to talk about Ireland. I swear to God, it's as if Ireland politicians are pissing their pants right now. They don't even know how to do with this. It's like, oh shit, we actually have like political opposition. Oh my God, there's people thinking different than us. No, what if we lose our seats? What can we do? Like, we don't know how to do anything else besides being politicians. Like what if, can you imagine, like, you lose your seats? Where do you get money from? Like, you don't take money from the taxpayer anymore. Like, what do you do then? What is the solution to such problem? We need more censorship. We need to make sure that people shut the fuck up. Oh, they don't like our policies? Well, if they can't talk about our policies, then it's fine, isn't it? Fucking hell, I just... So let's look at it. Let's look at the countermeasure framework. Oh, this is so beautiful. So there's a whistleblower, and it basically points out that they tried doing this since 2014. So the government made the plan on how to control the internet and social media in order to make sure that only the government-approved talking points are allowed. This is due to Brexit and due to Donald Trump being elected. Like, they realized that if the people are allowed to talk with each other, things are bad for the establishment. So they needed to set all of this in place, right? So you have like planning, right? So you gotta take into account that when the government says truth, like, the people in the government aren't more wise than the public. The people in the government do not have access to the truth. Like, they don't have God on their side or anything like that, right? Like, they have their own opinion. And their opinion is going to be like Facebook presented it as protected facts, right? So the government is like going to decide what is the correct opinion, and anyone that disagrees with them is going to be suppressed. This is what's being discussed here. So basically, if the government decides that immigration is good, without any limits, without even trying to to see if the people that are immigrating are even assimilating, or if they like the culture they immigrated to, or if it's economically positive, right? If the government doesn't want that conversation, then it will say no. Like the fact checkers have decided that immigration good, everything else is bad. Think about the Hunter Biden laptop, right? So if the government says no, like the Hunter Biden laptop is a non-story, then that is the truth, and everything that goes against it is bad, right? So basically have a disinformation response plan. Again, like these things aren't necessarily bad in of itself. Like some of them are fine in a liberal society. Like the government should have the same rights as people do, right? Like this is something that a lot of anti-Trump activists were livid because Donald Trump could go on a stage and say that, well, the press is the enemy of the people. And they were like, well, how can he do that? And it's like, well, because you as a citizen can do the same. You as a citizen can say that Donald Trump is an enemy of the people. Like you, if you can do that, why couldn't he? So basically, the government should be able to have a disinformation response plan and to disagree with the public on whatever opinions the public has hold. So this one is fine, right? However, when you go to things like seize their bank accounts, cut off bank access, right? Like this is an issue. So if you have like someone that actually manages to, you know, say something that the public resonates with, someone like Nigel Farage, and he's making talking points and no one is debunking them. Like I haven't seen Nigel Farage on a talk show with a leftist and the leftists to be able to demolish Nigel Farage's arguments. Like that didn't happen, right? So when you can't do that, you cut off his bank account. And when we actually looked at why his bank account was cut, it was because of Brexit. Right? So all of this shit, all of this censorship is because of Brexit. It's to keep the people in power in power. Like the European Union should not be allowed to lose. Even if it tries to pretend it's a government organization that's democratic. Well, if the demos doesn't want the EU, then get the demos to stop talking with each other. No, the government does have rights, man. Like the government is made out of human beings and the human beings have rights. The government does have the right to free speech. Like the government can have like a person that's a spokesperson and say whatever the fuck they want. I do think that, I mean, I don't know, like maybe in America they have a different school of thought, but I do believe that in my country, just because you're a government official, doesn't mean that you shouldn't be able to speak your mind. Or that you shouldn't be able to have your Second Amendment if you're in the US. Right? I mean, yeah, the president should be able to talk shit. I would say that, okay, like maybe you can make a distinction between like being in office and outside of office. So like when you're in office, you should not be able to intimidate companies and stuff, you know. But when you're off time, like what, just because you're the president you can't tweet whatever the fuck you want on Twitter? I don't know. I do think that in a perfect society, like in my perfect society, the president could go on the microphone and talk whatever shit he wants. And if he says something that's illegal, like, for example, incitement to violence or, I don't know, like, what are the restrictions on the 7th Amendment? Blackmail, threats, you know, that type of shit, then people should sue him. Even if he is the president, he should get sued, yes. In that case, you wish my popular movement the best? My movement isn't going to happen, man. I'm not creating movements. I'm just sharing ideas. But anyway, right, so like cut off bank account. Look at this. Dampen emotional reaction. This is from the people that were sharing that picture of dead kid in Greece, on the shores of Greece, in order to encourage the migration crisis, right? Because like for a while, Europe didn't have open borders. And they found like like the activists found dead kids on the shores of Greece, and it was in every single newspaper, it was in every single social media feed, it was on every single network, it was everywhere, right? That was to amplify the emotional response. I think while you're representing us, you need to be held to higher standards. No, I think human rights are human rights. I don't give a fuck if you're representing or not. You can't say that, well, yeah, when he is the president, he loses his human rights. No, when he is the president, he gets to still be able to have free speech just like everyone else. He gets to still able to have his Second Amendment just like everyone else. Still gets like everything to do. Like, no, this is ridiculous. Like, oh, so if you are a politician like Nigel Farage, right? If he manages to get into office, he should not be able to speak because now he is... No, that's horseshit. Yeah, they spam that everywhere, right? The same thing with what's its name? George Floyd video, right? Like the George Floyd video, what was everywhere, on every news channel, on every social media feed. It was trending on several platforms. Everyone was sharing it. Everyone was distributing it. And you talk about like dampen emotional response. Fuck off. That video was specifically designed to create an emotional response. I mean, look at Ireland, right? Like right now, they're saying that the people who are protesting against migrants, they're far right. In my opinion, they're not even protesting against migrants; they're protesting against the politicians. But they are basically saying, oh well, they're protesting for because they're manipulated by the far right. And what does the far right say? Oh well, they didn't even specify that the migrant was naturally born and naturalized in Ireland and blah blah blah. Okay, fine. But when you have BLM protests, and they're basically having activists suggesting that the people in the UK are being assaulted by the cops, and when you look at it, it's like, well, hold on a little bit. The UK is not the United States. It doesn't even fit. It's different ideologies, different things. Why do you not have the same level of policing? Why do you not have the same level of concern? Why do you not apply the same level of standards when it's a left-leaning protest? Like whether it's Antifa, whether it's BLM, whether it's someone from the left, right? All of a sudden, you do not apply the same scrutiny. You do not apply... Oh, why? Because it doesn't endanger the leftist politicians. In fact, it benefits the leftist politicians, right? That's literally all about. It's like, how does it benefit politicians? They do not care about people's businesses. They do not care about like how many people get hurt on the ground. They do not care about the property. These are excuses that they use whenever they have like a rally that is not in favor of the establishment. 2030 coming soon. The thing with 2030 is that the UN always had like agendas. Like it did so for decades. Every single 10 years they have a new agenda. So by 2030, I'm pretty sure they will have like their 2040 agenda. And by 2040, they will have like their 2050 agenda. Like this is normal with the UN. It's just that people start watching it now. Most of the time, their agendas kind of fail, like I would say to a 70% degree. But usually and unfortunately, some of those things stick. Like 5 or 10% of the stuff genuinely... Sorry, like 30% of the stuff sticks. Usually 20% is discarded, but like the other 10, it sticks. Forever. And then by the new agenda, another 10% is added, so on and so forth. But other than that, like you guys probably don't remember, but like when I grew up, it wasn't global warming, it was global cooling. There's even like a famous Hollywood movie on that shit. that Hollywood movie is called, I think it's like Day of Tomorrow, where like the earth freezes over, and it's like that's the apocalypse, and Americans have to go to Mexico to seek asylum. And it has like this emotional scene where the evil Americans now have to go to the Mexican border and ask them to be let in. Day After Tomorrow. It's just like this, you know, like these levels of propaganda always existed. It's just that now they're everywhere, right? So back then it was just one movie. And not to mention, like, Day After Tomorrow wasn't... How should I even put it? Propaganda-wise, it was absolute shit and horrible. But from the point of view of CGI, it was actually great, and the acting was great. Now the propaganda movies have bad acting, bad CGI, and bad story. Like, everything is bad. At least this is watchable. You know, it's kind of funny to see, oh, look, everything is freezing over and how these people survive. But basically, like, the entire movie is about mankind polluted too much. Now the earth is fucked. The day after tomorrow comes and everything freezes over. So you have like a group of survivors that are trying their best in order to survive this apocalyptic winter. And then they have to travel to Mexico because somehow Despite the fact that the Earth froze over, it affected the US more. I don't know what exactly they said, but anyway, they go to Mexico. And Mexico, you know, like, welcomes them with open arms. There's no guards, there's nothing. They just allow the Americans to come in. It's one of the most jarring propaganda movies. But basically my point is, like, when I grew up, it was global cooling, right? So, like, that was the problem. It's like the Earth is going to freeze over. Now it's global warming. Now, if you want to know the best example of this, I don't know how many of you are old enough to remember, but there was a time. Okay, here we go. Just so you can understand how bad this environmentalist bullshit is, right? Like the more old you are, the more you can see through the bullshit. There's no apology for this. There's no... Okay, so, in the beginning, you had paper bags. And the environmentalist movement said, no, actually paper bags are bad because it kills the environment, right? Like, you have to chop down trees in order to make them. So we want plastic bags instead. And believe it or not, like when you make changes like this, it's actually difficult for the supermarkets. It seems like a trivial shit for the consumer. But if you're the supermarket, now you need to find a distribution chain. And the distribution chains may actually be filled, and they may actually take advantage of you because they will say, oh, well, if you need it in such a short amount of time, then you have to pay extra and blah, 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 right? So the supermarkets actually took a lot of losses because of this. But the idea was like, okay, so now we're not using paper bags, now we're using plastic bags. And now it's like, well, no, actually plastic is bad for the environment, right? So use your COVID mask. In fact, double mask up because Fauci said so. Like, that's fine for the environment. But like when you go shopping, you need to use a paper bag again. So, okay, but like, are none of the people that suggested the plastic bag initially, are none of them going to apologize? Are none of them going to say that they're sorry or at least be fired or anything like that? Like, if I fuck up at my job... Right, if I go to the hospital and botch up a surgery, I get a malpractice suit. I can be fired. But like these experts, there's no consequence for what they did. Okay, so if there's no consequence when they fuck up, why should I listen to them? Like, I do not trust a person that doesn't suffer consequences when they make a mistake. Because that's a person that's not being held accountable. So why would I listen to someone that's beyond reproach? Right? It's just one example. Like, this is a tiny one, but there are so fucking many. And the hypocrisy of it all. Seeing them flying around with private jets and their yacht. And then you go and you order a straw from a McDonald's, which comes, it's a paper straw wrapped around a plastic layer. Like, fuck off. And by the way, the plastic bags are better, unironically. They save the trees. I like the thing with the paper bags, they always break, don't they? They're not as durable, they're not as large, they're not as spacious. If you don't have a car, it's very difficult to carry the grocery for a family of 4 or 5. But maybe that's the fucking point. You shouldn't have a family of 4 or 5, huh? The most disgusting thing about environmentalism is the idea that you shouldn't have kids. Like, this is the most anti-human ideology ever. And the reason that I don't even get it is that, for whom are we saving the planet for then? It's like, okay, so you want me to have a huge detriment to my living conditions, right? You want me to lower my lifestyle, you want me to not be able to drive a car, have air conditioning, not have the same amount of electricity, like have electricity load shedding, not have a gas stove. Okay, fine. So what do I get in exchange? Like, for whom am I doing this for? Well, apparently you shouldn't have kids either. So it's like, okay, so if I don't even have kids, who am I saving the planet for then? For the elites. Yeah, I know, I'm saving the planet for the elites so that they can have kids. But the thing is, like, they don't have kids either. Like, look at the elites. Most of them are childless. Like, look at the European Union. I guess the elites in the United States still have kids. So, there's that. You know, Nancy Pelosi still has kids. Joe Biden has kids. So like, some of them do have. Plastic bag 10 grams, paper bag 100 grams. If a store sells 10 million bags a year, that is 10 times the weight that needs to be transported to the store. For Bill Gates, yeah. They are framing the protest of January 6th and framing Connor as an insurrectionist. I haven't followed what happened with that, but I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, the thing is, like, even if the planet would be over in 10 years, as Greta Thunberg ordained, I don't see that their measures, I don't see that their tactics, I don't see that anything that they are doing is to actually protect the environment. Like, I genuinely don't. They're not acting as a person whose house is on fire, like Greta Thunberg likes to say. They're acting very calm and very rational in their cynicism of restricting the rights of the individual. That's how I see them. In Sweden, we have a plastic bag tax. It was meant to lower the amount of plastic used. However, it increased the amount of plastic used as people stopped using twice. During communism, I remember, like, this was a thing. Like, we actually did have a shortage of bags. So what ends up happening, like, you would go to the supermarket and they literally wouldn't have bags to give you most of the time. So most people had bags at home, and they would go with the bags from home to do the shopping. To the point where now it's kind of bizarre. Like only the old people do it. Like when I come home and I want to throw away the bag, like, my grandma would see it, God rest her soul, and she would be like horrified because I'm being wasteful, right? So for instance, let me show you what I mean. I'm genuinely curious, like, if people did that in the US. But right, so you go on to the store, go on to the supermarket, and you get this bag, right, to put your groceries in it. And let's say you shop for 1 or 2 weeks, and you have like 2 or 3 bags, right? Probably 4. I usually have like 4 bags when I go shopping. And when you come home, you empty the bags and then you throw them. Oh my god, this would horrify my grandma. It's like, why are you throwing them? It's like, well, yeah, but like when I go the next time, I buy another bag. And she's like, well, why don't you bring the bag from home? And I'm like, well, I don't fucking know when I go. Like, maybe I'm just out. And before coming home, I'm thinking, like, maybe I should do groceries. I haven't done them in a while. Yeah, she would be horrified by this. And apparently, like, it's a thing in Eastern Europe. Yeah, like, a lot of people are for reusing them. I'm not against reusing them, by the way, but I never, like, went from home with bags in my hand, you know? Only Merkel doesn't have kids. Von der Leyen has 7. It's not just Merkel. It's, like, you look at Britain. Theresa May didn't have any. There were, like, more people. Like, when I looked and I checked, like, a lot of high EU dignitaries didn't. I'm pretty sure that Ursula von der Leyen may have some, so yeah. Do you get charged for bags? Yeah, you get charged, like, I don't know, 50 cents? I'm trying to convert it to USD. Yeah, it's like 50 cents a bag or something like that. I mean, I'm not saying that my grandma wasn't right. But I'm not saying that my lifestyle is that wasteful. Oh yeah, using the extra bags as trash bags. I did that as well. Yeah, like using them as trash bags. Oh yeah, this is what, got racism, the solution is communism. Got global warming, the solution is communism. Got overpopulation, the solution is communism. Got population problem, the solution is communism. It's absolutely true, yes. I reuse them as trash bags. I throw them away. Like when you have your trash bag, you know, the plastic one, you can put one of the shopping stuff from Kaufland and you reuse it like that. The thing is, like, if you reuse them too much, eventually they break. So is it really a good thing? I don't know. I am usually like all in for using stuff and not living a life of expense and luxury. But I guess even I can't be perfect. Even I make mistakes. Shopping as a man is a carefully conducted mission. You make a plan, select items only, in and out 10 minutes. Come prepared, bring your own bag. Well, that's the thing. I'm a little bit more chaotic. Like when I go shopping, I know exactly what I want to buy. But sometimes I go shopping like if I'm out, I go and get a haircut. And then when I want to come back home, I'm like, okay, well, actually, I need to do some shopping. And I take a detour. So it's not something planned. Or if I want to go take a haircut, I'm like, okay, I'm taking a haircut. I can't have like 4 shopping bags with me. It looks weird. People will look weird. So there's that. But again, I understand if people do not agree with my lifestyle. I get it. It is true. Like when I go shopping, in and out 10 minutes, I already have everything I have. When my wife goes shopping, 2 to 3 hours, and she spends so much fucking cash, it's not even real. And I'm thinking like, how the fuck are you doing it? How are you doing it? It's like if you can't control yourself, then keep the cash at home. Just take like what you need. Just take like, I don't know, like $50, and do not like, and then you won't be able to shop more than $50. If you don't use shopping bags, what do you scoop kitty litter into? The plastic bags. You get trash bags. You get trash bags specifically designed for trash. She finds those sweet discounts. I don't know. She wants to make delicious food for me. It's almost like... I was actually saying, we're struggling financially because I'm making my video game and stuff. And she doesn't understand where all the money are going. And I'm like, you brought fucking bananas. And she's like, and? You brought fucking bananas in the middle of November. Of course they're expensive. Like, if you keep buying stuff like that, they'll go Pikachu face when the money goes out. And she's like, well, yeah, but my colleague has bananas. And I'm like, well, maybe your colleague doesn't have financial difficulties. What? Oh, Dios mío. This is the result of my haircut? Holy shit, is that a good result then? No, but unironically, right? Like, if you want to start making savings, you need to... Like, when I go shopping, I'm thinking like, okay, how much money do I have at home? How much time until my next paycheck? What do I need? Right? And if the answer is like, I have a lot of money at home. Okay, well then I don't fucking care. Then I can go shopping like it's a holiday. And I don't even look at the price if I have a lot of money at home. Like there have been times when I did. If I know that I don't have a lot of money at home, then I start wondering like, how much money am I willing to spend today? How much until my next paycheck? And then in my head, I make a list of shoppings that are essential. And I try to avoid the things that are expensive. And if I don't have almost any money at home, which has happened, then I make an actual list with mathematical calculations so that I don't end up, when I'm at the cashier, that I have to look around to see where the nearest fire exit is. So that I can run away from embarrassment if I can't afford to pay. So, like you gotta decide how you're going to behave based on the current circumstances. Yeah, imagine being so rich that you can buy Pokemon cookies. Oh my fucking god. The fact that you have leftists defending Pokemon with that take, which even she herself apologized, is astonishing. And not to mention, the Pokemon cookie situation, it's like, oh, you're a misogynist. Yes, absolutely. If I don't afford $20 for cookies, I'm a misogynistic pig. Yeah, making, like, literally everything that inconveniences a multi-millionaire woman is misogyny. Just say it, you're against the aristocratic class. And you'd be a lot more accurate. Holy fucking shit. What is a Pokemon cookie? Okay, so she makes these cookies, which is obviously, like, part of her brand, right? Like, it's not that they're, like, her recipe, I think. Like, it's not that they're... She made a deal with cookie manufacturing. And they cost $20 for the box of cookies, right? Or something like that. It was like outright. It was something very expensive. And then it's like, oh my god, $20 for a bunch of cookies? There are 4 boxes. There are 4 boxes. It's like $5 per cookie. But I know, thinking is hard. But if you're poor, just say so, boy. And that didn't fly over well, you know. That a lot of people didn't really appreciate that. $28. Holy shit. Okay, $28 for cookies. $28 for a box of cookies. Man, even I can't fucking afford it. And I know that there are people a lot more poor than me. Actual bananas, for some reason, are known to be are among the cheapest fruit. Not during the winter, though. And it depends where you're at. With that money, I can make kozonak for the entire family. Yeah, literally, with that money, you can actually cook yourself. With that money, you can actually open the oven and cook yourself, and it's going to be more efficient. Hold on, let me see the cookies thing. Like it went fucking viral. The left is so fucking disconnected that they don't realize that when something goes viral, and it's also interesting, like they believe that when something goes viral, only men make it viral. Like only men get to decide if something is viral or not. In reality, when something is viral on the internet, you have men and women retweeting it. Like to claim that it's misogyny, like there are so many other female content creators that are making fun of it and assuming that if only men would make fun of it, it would actually mean anything. Waiting for the video to load. The ads on YouTube are becoming so intrusive, aren't they? Alright, here we go. Oh, another ad. Well, at least this one is for 6 seconds.
You for the last 3 weeks, and I feel it's time to just blow the lid off of this.
All right, let's see the thing, because I don't care about his editorialism. So these are the midnight cookies, right? The mini cookies, and this is her take.
Your audience.
When people are like, "Oh my god, $28 for cookies." 4 bags. That's $7 a bag. I know math is hard when you're an idiot, but like if you're a broke boy, just say so.
Yeah, they're broke. They're literally broke. We're in the middle of a fucking recession. Yes, I will say it on their behalf. They are literally broke. During the middle of a recession, giving money to a multi-millionaire may be one of the things that you can cut off from your fucking list. I'd rather buy some buyer's remorse than $25 for cookies? Even the buyer's remorse isn't $25. Why is she talking like that? Because she's funny, chat. She's trying to make you laugh. She's an entertainer. I try to put myself in her position, you know, because I'm a streamer as well. Obviously not as successful. Never gonna be, you know. I'm never going to get a contract with Walt Disney and stuff. But yeah, people are literally broke because of policies that individual from her content creation sphere are pushing for. But I generally do not understand, like you guys are the ones that are putting food on my table. Like, unironically, I'm not even kidding. Like, without you guys, I would struggle financially right now. I can't even imagine how it would be like to start shaming you for not donating to me, for not like I would. DSP is being ridiculed for doing that. Is it misogyny? Like, do people look at DSP and think that she's a woman with plump tits? Or is it because people do not like when a content creator tries to force their audience into giving money? Or when the audience says, hey, you know what, this is a little bit too much. You don't get to tell the audience, no, actually, it's perfect. $5 a month. It's such poor bad taste. And the fact that she is so disconnected to the point that she doesn't realize that like $28 for cookies, regardless of how many bags there are, it is insanely expensive. Like, you want $7 for cookies? Okay, then separate the fucking bags. But even then, if you separate the bags, I bet they're too small, aren't they? And even if you separate the bags, $7 for cookies is still too much. It's still too fucking much. In this economy, in this recession, $7 per cookie is like... And I am wondering if they're literally the best cookies on the planet. Like, at $7 cookies, it has to be better than fucking Snickers. Here's a broke super. Thank you, One Tree. I appreciate that. And again, I would like to thank Sad Cabbage, which is an old donor of mine. I'm glad he's back. I don't think you need Booba to be successful as her. I think you need connections and Booba. A box lights up when you open it. Comes with a mug and other garbage. She should have said this is a collector item. There are, like, the reason that people make fun of her is that there are so many ways you could have spin this and still look good and advertise yourself. Calling your customer, your subscribers and your fans broke is not the way to do it, right? Like, if you're a leftist and you're advocating for left-leaning policies, you're talking about how, oh, we need to help the poor and the marginalized, but you do not understand that the poor and marginalized can afford $28 fucking cookies? Like, you know? The way I would do it is that I would say, yeah, it's a collector's edition thing. Like, this is a deal that I have with the company. There's a lot of money that has to go to the company and blah, 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 blah. And I only recommend it for true fans. That, like, I understand that most people can't have it, but it's a limited edition. And, you know, they're probably going to go up in value as time moves on. And you get a mug and blah, blah, blah. Like there are so many other ways that you can promote yourself without coming off as a douchebag. Because that's what people are having the problem. If she was a guy and she said the exact same things, if DSP said the exact same thing, people would look at him and would say, well, what an asshole. What a douchebag. No, I will not use... Look, I'm not against people using it, but I personally don't use it because I would find it hypocritical. It's like I make my paycheck from people coming onto my channel, and I just don't feel it proper. If I were to do it, I would feel hypocritical. You're assuming Pokey is smart. It's not even about intelligence. It's about, like, being a people person. It's like knowing how to be. But I guess, like, you can't be a people person when you surround yourself by other millionaires. Like, you're completely disconnected from the average guy. And that's not a big problem. You know, like, if millionaires want to socialize with each other, that's fine. But when they start talking on behalf of the peasant and pretending that they understand the peasant and they know what's good for the peasant, it starts to upset the peasant. Remember who Big Off Cookie you could get for $7 in the 90s? Well, you know, I will say that $7 in the 90s is probably $14 now. But yes, like, basically when something was expensive, like, you would expect some quality to come with it. Like for her cookies, I would definitely expect that they would taste phenomenal. And but even then, no, the thing with cookies is that the cookie industry has reached such peaks that you can get cheap cookies for very little. So the idea of creating, like, a new cookie now that tastes such different than everything else that's on the market and justifies the cost is no, I don't believe it. Like the best cookies that I can think of are macaroons. And they cost like $1 per thing, but they're not really cookies. They're, let me show you. I don't know even how to describe them properly. They look like this, chat, right? And in my country, they are $1 each. It's a very expensive thing that you can buy, and the reason that they cost $1 is because the manufacturing involved into making them is very difficult, and obviously because they're so expensive, it's not for everyone, right? Like they would say at the bakery, it's like, look, if you can't afford them, they're a delicacy, right? Like people aren't supposed to have these on the table. Like, they're a delicacy. You're supposed to have them for special events, like your entire family is coming for Christmas, so you want to give them something delicious to eat. Or you want to have them for your birthday or something, you know, like incredibly, it's kind of like caviar, right? Like, people don't eat caviar on a regular fucking basis. Most people don't even touch that stuff. But if you're like a very wealthy person and it's a celebration or something, then yeah, having caviar on the table makes sense. Her cookies aren't fucking caviar, okay? Like, and she should have said so. If they were, she should have said it's like a delicacy. Macaroons are a huge pain to make. Yeah, they are, which is why they're so expensive. You can get some very cheap because they're about to expire. I don't think they have like those businesses. The thing is, like, if you, I actually know about cookies and baking. She was selling cheap cookies for a lot of money. It's literally the whole thing. It's kind of like a scam. It's a brand thing, right? Like you're selling something bad. Look at some of the Nike shoes, or look at some of these brand clothing. Not all of them, but like there are brand stuff that is really bad. Oh, perfect example: Apple phones, right? The Apple phone has very little. In fact, like most Apple phones aren't better than a Samsung phone. You can literally buy a Samsung phone, and it outperforms the Apple in almost every single way. But the Apple is more expensive. Why the brand? It's simple, right? So it's the thing with Pokemon. Or the bathwater, the gamer girl bathwater. It's not the fact that it's bathwater, or that it. No, it's simply because of the brand. Like, who is on the box? It's Pokemon, right? So the idea would be that you buy them as a collector edition. Like, you buy them today, and hopefully in 20 years you can still have. It's like, oh, I still have the Pokemon box, right? Do you guys want it? And you put it on eBay, and maybe you'll make more money. But even then, it's a bad investment. Usually it's after the person passes away, right? So like if you buy something like that, like you buy the Pokemon cookies, and after like 60 years, Pokemon passes away, and your kids find the box of Pokemon cookies, and she is, you know, considered to be an idol and an influencer and someone that broke the glass ceiling for e-girl streaming, which is still popular in the future. They can be like, look, it's kind of like finding, you know, like Charlie Chaplin's cookie collection, right? Imagine like if back in the day Charlie Chaplin was selling cookies, and you managed to find in your grandmother's attic a box of Charlie. Imagine how much those would cost, right? It's kind of like that. Yeah, Amarav has her East beer. Oh my fucking god, it's just... You're not supposed to eat them, lazy one. You're just supposed to have them as a collection thing. It's the bag. That's the one that has value. Okay. I need to go make my other videos because I have 2 more to make, and then I need to talk with my developer. So hopefully I will see you guys then. And thank you for watching the stream. Thank you for the super chats. Let me read them again. The names. Not the super chats in question. Reigning Terror, Lucius Cornelius, Sad Cabbage, One Tree. Thank you for the donations, and I will see you guys later. Take care.